Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining. This one is going to be pretty interesting because I think so. I read through my quote unquote endorsement yesterday by Penny J. Right? If any of you had a chance to watch it, and I let it, and I got a chance to think about it and try to logically explain in my head why all the inconsistencies, right? Why does he call it? Why does he sign it as Penny J, right? A lot of things that we'll go through. Why is he? Yeah, like Penny J. That was the weird one, right? And so I started thinking about things, and I had a chat with my friend John, and I got to thinking that I'm missing a piece. Right? And on the Telegram group, on the Family Law Telegram group that I'm part of, that is awesome. I read one of the judicial complaints. And the judicial complaint was about the judge, or I believe it's a judge, it's a U.S. case, who makes fraudulent statements, right, and acts in violation of the requirements of a judiciary, of a member of the judiciary. And so I thought, I went through my endorsement yesterday, which was an hour. And for those of you who watched it, there were just tons of statements, claims that had no basis, slanderous, attacks on my character, just complete fraudulent things, right? And then this was also published to Canly, right? So now it is public, right? And it's not something that I wanted to go public. I didn't want that at all, right? Sorry. Okay. I might have skipped a few steps there. Sorry about that. But I didn't want this thing to go public. And the Penny J decides to publish it to the commercial site Canly, right? Somebody at Canly is paying those hosting fees, right? Somebody at Canly is paying the web maintenance and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's a big corporation, and why does my name, without my consent, get to be used by them? Again, it's probably another scam rabbit hole that we will get into maybe at another time. But in this case, I thought that I had a great cause for a judicial complaint, and I think I do. And so then I did some preliminary research, right? And I went to the website www.ontariocourts.ca, OCJ, complaint about judicial conduct. And I'm like, okay, this is exactly where I want to be, right? I want to make a complaint about judicial conduct, right? The judiciary, the member of the judiciary who slandered my name and made false claims about me without backing, right? Without evidence. So I went to this site, and it said that, now read it here. If you have a complaint about the conduct of a provincially appointed judge, you may write to the Ontario Judicial Council. If you have a complaint about the conduct of a justice of the peace, you may write to the Justices of the Peace Review Council. Okay, right? There we go. So, which one do I fucking choose? Right? So let's look at my endorsement again, right? Okay, Ontario Superior Court of Justice. This is the Ontario Court, right? So, sorry, not that one. This one, so this is the court, right? And I am standing, or summons, or whatever, before Penny J, Well, Penny J, are you a judge or are you a justice of the peace? Because those are the only two options, right? I only get to complain about a justice of the peace or a judge. Okay, so if we read if we search for so the previous person that I was before was a justice. So if I have to pick between, between number 1 and number 2, I'm going to pick number 2, right? So Kimmel J, or Justice Kimmel, I believe, according to this, is a justice of the peace, right? Not a judge, not a judge. And what about Mr. Mr. Penny J, right? What does the J stand for? Well, here you go, Kimmel J, right? So I'm assuming that Penny J, the J must also stand for justice. So is Penny J and Kimmel J, are they just justices of the peace? And of course, I'm just the dumb monkey on the street, right? Like I'm not a lawyer. I took a high school law course, which didn't equip me at all to understand any of this shit, right? So I'm just a self-taught monkey, a self-taught legal monkey. So I don't know what a justice of the peace is. I was never taught that. So I had to look it up, right? And so let's read what do judges and justices of the peace do. And let's determine who exactly is Penny J and Kimmel J. Are they judges or are they justices of the peace? Okay, so number 1, what do judges do and what do justices of the peace do? So first, what do judges do? Judges work in 3 areas of jurisdiction, which include the overwhelming majority of criminal and youth criminal courses. So I'm not, because I asked pretty much every quote unquote justice if anybody has any harm that they're claiming against me. So nobody has claimed that I've done any harm to them. So this is not clearly a criminal case, right? Certain types of family law cases. Certain types of family law cases. Isn't that interesting? So which types of family law cases? Isn't that interesting, right? And like, are they family law cases where the family law court is on one side of the aisle, right? And somebody suing them is on the other side? Are those the types of family law cases you hear? Who knows? Okay, so criminal law, we don't care about that. Family law, the Ontario Court of Justice judges sit only in the family court jurisdiction in Ontario that do not have a family court branch of the Superior Court of Justice. In these United Family Court locations, the Family Court of the Superior Court has jurisdiction in all family law matters. Further, the Superior Court has complete jurisdiction throughout the province over divorce and the division of property. Okay, if you can make that claim, I don't think they'll provide any evidence of it, but sure, you can make that claim that the Superior Court has complete jurisdiction. In those parts of the province in which the unified family courts do not exist, judges of the Ontario Court of Justice have jurisdiction over the following family law matters: child protection matters. Under the child protection matters is probably criminal, I would imagine. Spousal partner support. So judges are the only ones who have jurisdiction over that. I don't know how they can make that claim, but whatever. And custody, access, and support relating to children. So it sounds like here, right? I guess we have to be in a united family court that judges have jurisdiction, or that judges have jurisdiction. In cases where you have a family law court, they don't say. It doesn't look like they say, right? Or am I missing something? Okay, so anyways, what do justices of the peace do? Right? An appointment of justice. For more information concerning appointment process, including qualifications of judges, see the Courts of Justice Act. So maybe at some point, we'll have to go through that. So what do justices of the peace do? So justices of the peace work broadly in two main areas of jurisdiction: criminal law and provincial offenses. Provincial offenses. Okay? Remember that the Ontario Family Law Act, or whatever, the statute is, I guess that's a provincial, maybe I shouldn't make that claim. But that's how I guess they're classifying it. It's a provincial offense, whatever that means. So criminal law jurisdiction, justices of the peace preside over virtually all bail hearings in the province, first appearance and remand courts, nothing to do with me. They also receive information, the documents that commence criminal proceedings, so this isn't a criminal proceeding, issue process in the form of summonses and warrants, deal with applications for the issuance of search warrants and production orders under the criminal code, deal with applications for peace bonds, consider applications for warrants to seize weapons and conduct weapons, blah, blah, blah. So whatever. So nothing here says family law, except maybe except maybe bail hearings, right? Maybe that's what we're really in. but I think it's probably provincial offenses. Or let's read on. Provincial offenses jurisdiction, justices of the peace exercise jurisdiction over a whole range of provincial offenses and offenses against municipal bylaws. In this regard, their duties include issuing process, receiving applications for warrant, issuing process, I don't even know what that means. Again, I'm just a dumb monkey learning law on its own. Presiding, so don't take any, I should have said this to start, but I am just a dumb monkey who's learning this stuff on my own. None of this is legal advice. I'm not a lawyer. I will never be a lawyer. I hope to stop looking at this stuff as quickly as possible. So if we continue through this, providing over provincial offense trials under statutes, including the Highway Traffic Act. So when you go to the Highway Traffic Act, you're going in front of a justice of the peace, right? That's what it's saying. The Occupational Health and Safety Act, the Trespass to Property Act, the Safe Streets Act, the Environmental Protection Act, the Liquor License Act, the Consumer Protection Act, the Dog Owners Liability Act, and the Workplace Safety and Insurance Act. Okay. So the interesting thing about all of these are I believe all of these, except for with the exception of the Highway Traffic Act, which is a topic for another time, but all of these are dealing with corporations, pretty much, right? Consumer Protection Act, the Liquor License Act, it's corporation to corporation. And I believe, well, we'll read further. A provincial offense trial court proceeds over by a justice of the peace in a court of competent jurisdiction under the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. A provincial offenses trial court. Provincial offenses. Okay, so we said that the family law might be classified under provincial offenses. So a trial court, which is what this is, presided over by a justice of the peace, is a court of competent jurisdiction under the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Okay, so they're claiming that they can get away with using justices of the peace. That's interesting, because they use the Charter of Rights and Freedoms as their justification. And then when I claim that they're violating my rights granted to me under the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, they ignore me and tell me that I cannot proceed with my trial. Anyways, this means that the Justice of the Peace has authority to grant the range of remedies provided under Section 24 of the Charter. So this is where we're coming. So they're saying that the I mean, this is, what else could they be talking about here, right? What else could they be talking about? During a trial, the justice of the peace will hear and weigh evidence and deliver a final decision. If a defendant is convicted, impose a sentence. Okay, so I don't even know what that means, right? Is this like a convicted of a provincial offense? And what do they get? Impose a sentence. Okay, so I guess we got to read section 24 of the charter. I won't do that now. Other duties, in addition to the duties listed above, the justice of peace have a collection of other responsibilities, including conducting hearings and making orders under the Mental Health Act for examination of a person by a physician, conducting hearings and issuing warrants to apprehend a child pursuant to the Child, Youth, and Family Services Act for children in need of protection, presiding at trials of municipal bylaw infractions, and presiding at trials prosecuted under certain federal legislation, including the Shipping Act and the Motor Vehicles Act. So it's only, my understanding of legalese is that that means only these two. Although this is a website, so they may use the more, the more common use of including, which means it includes this, it includes the Canadian Shipping Act, the Motor Vehicle Act, and other acts, right? In the legal sense, from my understanding, is that when you have including, it only means those two. But this isn't a legal document, so they may be hiding the Family Law Act under here, right? For more information concerning the appointment process, including qualifications of Justice of the Peace, see the Justice of the Peace Act. So that's another act that I may have to waste more time on, right? Anyways, so which one does our Penny J, right? Which one does our Penny J fall under? Is it a Justice of the Peace, or is it a judge, right? So apparently, maybe let's read this again, right? So judges, are we before a judge, right? Are we in a criminal case? No, we're not, right? Certain types of family law cases, those are only family law cases where there is no family law court, right? From what I understand. So you get a judge to sit there, I guess. But in that case, the judge, I would imagine, also acts as a justice of the peace, because a judge must have a what's the word? Like a reason to initiate a claim against somebody, right? And that can't be a statute. That can't be a statute. I don't know how it could be. But anyway, so judges preside over criminal, they preside over bail hearings, like mostly criminal, right? Criminal and civil. Or no, civil would be a trial by jury, right? Anyways, to me, it really sounds like, I'm going to take them at their word, and I'm going to say that Justice Kimmel and Justice Penny are justices of the peace. I don't see how I can look at it any other way, right? And so then we have this idea of, well, what does an order from a justice of the peace mean? Can justice of the peace create mortgages or bonds in your name without your signature, right? I don't remember seeing that. If somebody knows how that's possible, how anybody really has that right to do something so obviously criminal. Slavery ended, guys. You can't just sign someone's time and property over to somebody else because somebody put a fake signature on here. And again, this is a fake signature. His name is Michael Penny, and yet he signs it as Penny J, right? Does he sign his checks as Penny J, right? They'd be like, who the fuck is that? Yet here, he can put a fake signature on here and create a bond in my name. And they're insane. And divide my property and do all these other kind of crazy things. So this is what I wanted to share. This to me is a big missing piece because give me like I read through and they told me that so if I don't serve an answer, right, like lowercase answer, like what does that even mean, right? If I don't file an answer, which I don't, but an underscore, like a lowercase answer is just I can answer any way I want, right? The 4 sub rules provide that they will deal with the case in my absence, and a date may be set for an uncontested trial. A trial of what, guys? And like, can a justice of the peace preside? Like, it's laughable. It's laughable. And this is how they get away with it, right? They issue this fake thing because it has no force of law, right? And what they do is they use the Bill of Exchange Act, because maybe I can find it really quickly, but let's see what is required of a bill of exchange. But you'll see it matches exactly what a bill of exchange is. So let me here, a bill of exchange is an unconditional order, right? There's the word order, in writing, addressed by one person to another, signed by the person giving it, requiring the person to whom it is addressed to pay on demand or at a fixed or determinable future time a sum certain in money, or to the order of a specified first person or to bearer. Right? There we go. Exactly what they issued. I think what it says here is or that orders any act to be done is an instrument that does not comply with. But anyways, I think there's a section that says that it does not have to have the word bill in there in order to be considered a bill. And here it says maybe that's why it's just an endorsement. Why it has like it's just a fraudulent, useless document, right? Or endorsement. He doesn't issue the word order anywhere, I think. Oh, he does say I order, but it doesn't call it an order. I don't know, man. I'm so fucking confused. Like, guys, just put your fucking proper names there. Like, put my name. Why do you have to put my name in all capitals? Like, Penny J is in lowercase. Like, is this, are you guys just, you forgot elementary school grammar or what? Like, the whole fucking thing is just so inconsistent. I don't understand. Like, this isn't even, I can't even make sense of this, right? What does minus Ontario mean? Like, it's just amateur hour. And again, this is a system that was never intended for quote unquote family law, right? What they're doing is they're issuing a bill. And again, let's read what a bill is. A bill of exchange is an unconditional order in writing addressed by one person to another. So in this case, right, an unconditional order. Okay, so ours is conditional. Okay, no, it's not conditional. There's other writing in addition to it, right? I order. Well, but the order to pay is unconditional. Otherwise, it would be like this person must pay this on condition of this. It doesn't say that. The order to pay is unconditional, right? Addressed by one person to another. So in this case, paid J Penny to another, to O, the other party, signed by the person giving it, right? So Penny J signed it. requiring the person to whom it is addressed to pay me on demand or at a fixed or determinable future time, right? So he said it, I think it was August, starting August 1st. And there's a section later where they talk about series of payments. So it's a fixed or determinable future time, a sum certain in money, right? They specified the exact amount that I have to pay. To or to the order of a specified person, right? To the other person, and I may have got some of this off. Like I'm just a dumb monkey on the street learning law, right? We're trying to learn the minimal I need to get by this this process. Okay, so I contest that what this is a bill, and so the Penny J is not a judge, right? He doesn't even claim to be a judge. Nobody claims to be a judge. Although later I'll show you an email where they do call him a judge, although I don't believe he even is a judge. So this is a bill by a justice of the peace ordering me to pay someone else some certain amount at a fixed or determinable future date. Like there's no way around that. There's no way around that, right? And so endorsement, as and if we look in here, endorsement just means yes, and there's a maker, right? So a bill of exchange involves a maker. So in our case, I think the maker is the Superior Court of Justice, Ontario, right? Ontario, whatever that means. Again, I don't know what grammar they're using where everything is uppercase. Like I don't think there's a real grammar like that. So anyways, endorsement. So if we look at endorsement, okay, so we have a bill now, right? We have a bill, and here's the word endorsement. So the word endorsement just means that I listen to this and I agree. I agree that, and I take liability for this bill. That this is a bill. And again, guys, this whole process was created back when before Canada was a nation, right? When Canada was a corporate state run by the Hudson Bay Company, right? The Hudson Bay Company was the first company here, and they would issue these bills. And so I would, somebody in Ontario would take a bill to somebody in Quebec, and they would go to the Hudson Bay Company, and that person would endorse it. Yes, I recognize the previous signatures. I endorse that the Hudson Bay Company will make good on this bill, right? And the Hudson Bay Company, because they have to pay the bill, they can say, okay, Joe's the office in Sudbury, well, they can pay that bill, right, on behalf of the maker. And so what these guys are doing is they're saying that I, Lorenzo, right, from Lorenzo Family Law, I will pay this bill on behalf of the maker, which is the Superior Court of Ontario, right? And so if you go back and watch my notice of dishonor, because there is, if somebody issues you a bill, and you don't accept it, right? If the Hudson Bay Company came to the Office of the Office of Mineral Trade or whatever in Sudbury, and they said, hey, you got to pay this bill. Well, the Office of Minerals in Sudbury could say, this isn't my bill, right? If they don't say it, if they just go and say, okay, here's the bill, here, I pay it, right? Then that means they acquiesced and they accept the bill, right? If they don't, if they say, I don't accept this bill, I don't recognize, I'm not going to be liable for the Hudson Bay Company's bills. Well, then what they have to do is, what I've done, is it's in French. Which is the notice of dishonor, right? Notice of dishonor. And that's what I followed. I don't accept their bill. I don't accept their authority. I don't think a justice of the peace. And I thought, I didn't. It was only after I went through the endorsement where I'm like, what does this mean? Why does he sign? Why am I before Penny J? Like, it doesn't make any sense. The whole thing is public. Like, why are they? This is supposed to be official, right? Like, what he's created here is the equivalent of a mortgage for me, right? He's saying you must pay some certain amount at these fixed period at this period of time, and he's hiding his name, and he's using this fake signature. Why? I mean, they're obviously told to do it like this, and I think the reason that they're doing this is because they're high. It's layers of trickery, right? So layer one is they create a bill, right? And they trick you into paying it, right? Because they get their family law lawyers to tell you, no, you must follow the rules, guys. Like, this justice, this is really like they're like a judge, they're like a judge. And this court, I mean, it's really. It's like we're in court, guys. Look, we're in court, right? The guy, he's wearing his costume, and I'm wearing a costume, right? And I got to put this wig on. We're in court, guys. Like, really, we are, right? And they threaten you with trial, right? They call it a trial. A trial for what, guys? I've done no harm, right? Nobody's claiming I've done any harm. There's no cause of action. Like, which trial are we talking about? And so they create this. Sorry, I just got sidetracked. So they create this bill. They create this this legal equivalent, right? It's called, what's it called? Color of law is one term, and then the other term is simulation of law, I believe, right? And what is simulation of law? Simulation of law is you build something that looks like a courthouse, and you call things in the same manner, right? Trial and an order, and like you use the same kind of terminology, right? Court file, citation is probably the same. So they use as much of the legal process. I mean the true legal, judicial system as they can. In order to trick you, right? In order to trick you, and then they publish these to shame you. So Penny J published this, even though I sent my notice of rescission, he still published it to a commercial. So I will be filing a judicial complaint for that for sure, and I will look to file a whatever. I haven't decided yet. So. If you stay tuned, soon what we will do together is create a judicial complaint based on this endorsement. So it's a 5-page endorsement, and so hopefully it won't take that long. But we'll go through the process of how to submit a judicial complaint, and I will do that. Now that I know that I have to, in fact, make a complaint about a justice of the peace. And maybe I'll try both. I don't know. So they get the bill, and then they simulate the process, right? They set up this quasi court to endorse the bills. That's it, right? You go back there, they endorse the order, right? The order to pay. And all of their remedies are just financial, right? They move some paper from here to there. It's just a transfer of finance. They can't do anything else. They have no ability to impose or to enforce any of this. Which again is if a court doesn't have the ability to enforce, I believe there's a legal maxim that says that it's not a real court. So, there's no evidence really that it is a court when you think about it. Like, they're not even really pretending to be a court, except that they're in the Superior Court of Justice. And when you read their wording, it sounds like they don't address it directly. but it sounds like they're classifying them under justices of the peace here. So it doesn't need, like, the only judges are in jurisdictions in Ontario that do not have a family court branch, right? So if it's not a judge, it's not a real order, right? In my opinion. So there you go, guys. This was the missing puzzle. Their trickery here, Penny J. Maybe his name being Penny J because it's such an absurd name. Who knows if that's even his real name, right? It's so fucking absurd, Penny J. Anyways, Penny J. That name just stuck in my mind, and again, I sent a notice of rescission asking him not to be. And again, I sent a notice of rescission to the office of Justice Penny, or to the maker, which is the Superior Court of Ontario, and they should have said they should know what to do. But I think the problem is that we're they're look at this form. I already showed you, right? It's a joke. There's no consistency. They don't know what they're doing. So yeah, guys, I hope this helped. I know it helped me quite a bit. I believed for nine years that I was in front of a judge and this was a judicial this was a legitimate judicial process, and these people really had the authority to do what they were doing. I think this is pretty clear evidence from their own words, from their own sources, that this process, in fact, is one layer of trickery over another layer of trickery over another layer of trickery over another layer of trickery. I'm going to do what I can to get out of it, right? If that means I have to get out of this. A province and a country that condone this blatant trickery, and to me this is immoral. It's unlawful. Not that we really have a law system in Canada, but it's unlawful. You can't create a debt on somebody's name without their signature and use these tricks to enforce it, and use the children as ransom. Because most people, the only reason people are going through this process is because these people hold the children ransom, right? You want to see your child? Well, you got to follow our fucking process, right? You got to pay your hundreds of thousands of dollars to our selected people, who are, who then become the politicians and the media people and the elite, right? So you got to pay these guys hundreds of thousands of dollars to fill out these fake forms that go before a justice. They don't go before a judge. So you're spending all of that money for fucking people to just transcribe your story and to read this legalese bullshit, right? I think enough is enough. This system is the worst possible system there is. We'll go through that in more detail later, but this system needs to end, guys. This is I think provably fraudulent. I don't see they're not even pretending that this is a legitimate system. They're not even pretending, and I'm done with it. And anyways, I hope you guys find this useful. Please comment. Let me know if you guys think I'm on the wrong track, if you think I missed something, if maybe maybe somebody's already discovered this, right? I had to get to this point after 10 years of, just being steamrolled by these people, right? Being treated like chattel. And I knew it was wrong the entire time. And now I think I've demonstrated without a shadow of a doubt that it's fraud. and I hope you guys agree with me, and I hope you guys join me to try to fight this system, right? And again, I'm not trying to fight the Ontario Court of Justice. I'm not at all. I'm trying to fight this bullshit administrative court. That's what they are, right? Justices are administrators. They're not judges, because there's nothing to judge. They're just judging whether you have complied with statute A, B, and C, right? That's not a judge. That's not the role of a judge. And this system where we assume that they're judges needs to end. They're not judges. If they want to be a fucking judge, list their name as a fucking judge. If you want to create a bond in my name, put your own fucking name there. All right. So thank you again. I hope you guys have success in this game. Right. I hope you guys. I wish you guys success in it, and I think we're coming to an end. I don't see, once you see this, I don't see how this can continue. It's just so absurd, And maybe if people weren't getting ripped off so badly, maybe if you just had to pay a few $1,000s to get through this labyrinth, maybe we would be okay with it. But like when people are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars to these people who are just tricking you, right? They're just tricking you. All right, so I hope this stream went through okay. God bless you all, and I will see you guys.